All right. Good morning, everybody. Shaky. Good morning to you, Lori. Good morning. Welcome to the NASDAQ coil. Yeah, there's a few things coiling today. Seems to be a bit of an absent signal day week. Relying heavily on understanding the market only doing three things: looking for 3-day templates, looking for breakouts, failed breakouts, those types of opportunities, instead of relying on first red, first green days, at least on the pairs that I generally watch. Paulie, good morning. Kay, good morning. And I've hopefully got value added to the stream. We're not just going to do the analysis. I never do. TR, good morning to you. Always trying to add extra value in where I can. Any extra teaching moments that I could possibly provide, and fitting them in there instead of just, hey, this is what I think is going to happen today. Good luck. We'll take a look at a few things. Always got these extra slideshows laying around that I love to whip up and show you all. All right, let's get into it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing great, and TGIF. Hope you enjoyed my the best song. I have my entire collection, my entire song arsenal. It's a good one. It's a banger. All right. Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. The information on this channel is provided for education and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. Oh, that's a big one. Make sure you read through this, pause the stream, so that way you know I'm not a financial advisor. This is not advice. It's for education only. Good stuff. Let's get rid of this. As always, y'all are probably getting sick and tired of me showing you this, but this is what we're looking for, what I'm looking for coming into today. This is what I look for every single day. These exact patterns. Looking for opportunities where we have maybe high of week reversals, first red, first green days, breakout pullback trend trades, breakout pullback reverse trades, breakouts failing on the following day and reversing. Keep this pattern in mind. We're going to see this today. Peak formation high, peak formation low, A plus B equals C sort of trade setups. 1, 2, 3. These are those 3-day rectangles, the heartbeat patterns, the, what Stacey calls them, the day zero, whatever you want to call it. You could call it the kangaroo jump pattern. It doesn't matter. Coiled consolidations, looking for these strong explosive breakouts to one side or the other. 3 days of breakouts, signal days, high week reversals, low week reversals, things like that. Inside bar patterns where you have maybe a reversal off the high or off of the low. I look for 3 pushes to the high or 3 pushes to the low. You might have trend range expansion opportunities, which we have seen this week, where you get breakouts and then you get an inside bar and you get a breakout pullback sort of scenario, or maybe they pen through the high or pen through the low, pump it back up or dump it back down, and then go vertical. Those are pretty good variations. You also have trap variations. These can be a little bit more, we'll call it advanced, but they're really not. You just have to think more consciously about breakouts and, hey, the market go up. We get a first red day. Is this a strong trend? Is this just going to give us a first red day? Maybe we're like in an opening range breakout, and I try to find squeezes off the closing price to go higher or go lower, depending on the day, depending on the template. All right, so once I find one of these templates, what do I want to see at my levels, at the extremes? Either the breakout level, maybe that's closing price, maybe that's the high of the day, maybe that's the low of the day, maybe that's high of previous day, high of or low of previous day. This is my entry criteria and the ways that I take profit and the ways that I search for targets and things like that. So I'm looking at structure on the day, 5-minute, 15-minute. This is all internal structure. I am not using internal structure to basically say, hey, this is my trade setup. I am looking at the larger 3-day template, and then this is me narrowing it down to figure out how to time my entry. Structure on the day, I have very objective rules for doing that, and it helps me identify, hey, market was pulling back, making lower lows and lower highs. They made a higher high. My setup is starting to occur. Let's get in. I'm looking at the time of day. I'm in my session. 3 pushes, break-in structure, structural breaks, right? Chart patterns. So once we pull back in 3 pushes, what kind of chart pattern do I get? Do I get maybe an ascending triangle? Do I get a double bottom? What kind of pattern is going to complete, and then wait for the pattern to complete, and then that is where I'm going to take my entry. So the engulfment of that pattern is the completion of that pattern, and that's where I look to start entering, either on the 5-minute or on the 1-minute chart. I like to put my stops above or below push 2. So, for example, if we have the 3 push pullback coming back down and we've got volume trapped underneath push 2, or maybe even in the larger move down, we've got volume trapped below push 2, I'm going to put my stop below there because they should not go back there, and that is going to be my invalidation point. Sometimes they'll pin down through that area, but for the most part, it's safe. So that's why I like to put it down there. It's my invalidation. And then I'm targeting either 100 pip box levels, previous swing levels, so like the high of the day, maybe the high of previous day, or maybe the low of the day, the low of previous day could be first targets, 100 pip box. Expansions of consolidation, so maybe I can measure the high and low of the consolidation and look at range expansion or measured moves or equidistant range expansions of that box. That could be my target, which is usually kind of one of my favorites. I really like this method. Otherwise, I'll target the low of the day, high of the day, or previous day's levels. Okay. All right, and then what kind of price action do I like to see? So after I get my structural breaks and things like that, what kind of price action could I be looking at in order to help me determine? Can you all see this okay? Can you hear me okay? Can you all throw up a little 1 or something? Let me know you can see and hear me okay. I'm looking at it on the other screen. It looks like it might be okay, but I'm not really sure. All right, good deal. Appreciate that. All right, so, whenever I get to the extremes, maybe I have a lower low, and then they go back to the high, something along those lines. What do I really want to see? I like to see 3 push patterns. I have multiple different ways of referencing these 3 push patterns. I like to see ramped volume. This is something that I learned directly from Stacey about order flow into an extreme, pulling the market, lifting price into an extreme, and holding it up there, because this ramp of order flow, notice how the bars have little to no overlap. They're pulling, and then you get the consolidation up high. If you've watched my videos on those market cycles, you get your markup, your distribution, which in BTMM would be considered like level 3, where they go choppy and sideways, and then it starts to break down. They go sideways and then go vertical. Now we're in the markdown phase. This ramp is usually going to provide an area for the market to fall through very aggressively and rapidly. Okay. 3 push patterns in combination with the ramp. Pump and dumps, right? This is where the pump began. We get the ramp up into the extreme, probably just a pullback. And these little like ascending 3 push patterns, the stair step. I love seeing these. Very easy to see the market cycles. Consolidation down low, mark up, distribution, mark down, right back to where that pump began. All right, more examples of that. Consolidation, run, ramp, consolidation, lower low. So sometimes, remember that slide I said it's going to save you 100 hours. I'm telling you, that's not clickbait or anything like that. It's not a joke. Lower low. Sometimes they'll go back and make a higher high, but does the higher high fail? Break down, go sideways. This is where the trade starts. Now, of course, you've got timing and stuff, but you can very clearly see good, clear, concise price action. And something I really like to do, and that all of you, in my opinion, should be doing, is studying consolidations. Don't just look at it and go, wow, look at that pattern. Look at how the bars are closing. Look at how they lift price and are forcing people to buy up high. Notice how this is kind of like a best fill. And once they get back down below there, the trap is set and it's ready to go vertical. These people are trapped above push 2. If I'm trying to get in, maybe it's a good place to put my stop, so that way I can save some money by putting it all the way up there. All right, little stair-stepping 3 push patterns. Love to see those at the extremes or at the end of moves. Here it is again. Now this is a bit of a higher time frame, I think, and this is real choppy and disgusting. Not really tradable. Whereas this is nice and clear. We probably got a lower low and then an attempt to make a higher high, and they come out of there Three little bursts and a peak formation high that engulfs, goes down. I love seeing it when it breaks down and goes sideways like this. This is a good place for me to look to enter. This is not necessarily a breakout, fake out bar, but the engulfment, the pin hammers, and then the follow through. That looks really good. All right, so some examples of what to look for at the extremes. Over the course of a day, you know, there's 3 push patterns, the drop, 3 levels of drop. We triggered previous day's high, which could be indication for. All of you should be jumping out of your seat right now, screaming, dump for a pump. So if we get the signal for a dump for a pump, and then I get nice 3 little stair steps and a peak formation low in my session, maybe that's a place where I would like to start looking, you know. Okay, so we've gone over a little bit about the setups, the templates, and then we've also looked at price action at the extremes and some little things that I like to look for in order for me to look to get into these trades. Now we can go and we can look at today leading into the session, so that way we can figure out, hey, does any of this fit the bill for the day? Let's do that. Okay, so I already have a lot of notes on the screen because I have a webinar this week, and you know, of course, they're going to come first. So we've already gone over this stuff together, and hopefully they're in here now, rewatching this and seeing it for a second time. However, the notes are up here, so let's talk about them. Market go down. Okay, market go down. We've been going up on the NASDAQ for an extended period of time. Previous week's high and low. This is the first week where we're broken down. We've broken out of a previous week's level. And a lot of times, these are going to turn into, you know, strongly trending weeks. We could be pulling in a direction for an extended period of time, and that's perfectly fine because now we understand how to trade them. We could be trending, making lower lows and lower highs. How do I know that we're making lower lows and lower highs? Well, we're breaking out a previous day's low and closing. All right, so we're in breakout to the downside. So whenever I have a breakout to the downside, I know exactly what to look for. I project this level across. I say, okay, what is the day doing? We've triggered previous day's low in a down moving market and pumped it back up, which is the signal, or could be the signal for pump and dump, all right? The pump back up, or essentially just a pullback. They pull it back. And then now I'm using the time of day. We've got news in 2 minutes in the news calendar to determine whether or not I have a trade. Now, because the news calendar and because the fact that we have, you know, we're still an hour away from 9:30, they've triggered the low and pumped it back up to the high. The setup was up here. Okay, the setup was up here. So that's the trade that I would be looking for, and it's already following through and breaking down. I'm going to be very cautious about trading at the low of the week and the low of the day. I need to let this continue to evolve. NASDAQ's one of my least favorites for the day, so that's no worries. We also have 3 days of breakouts. So I said, hey, we're in a strongly trending market potentially. We've got 3 drives outside of the opening range, 2 and 3. So I already have a short example or an understanding of what to look for the shorts, but I also need to understand that we're at the low of the current week. We're at the low of the day. And timing-wise, if we come down here, for example, we make lower lows, and then maybe New York Open opens up, and we make a higher high and go vertical, maybe I'm looking for a short squeeze reversal off the low of the week back towards the high of the day. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I have no idea. I just know what to look for and wait for those details to play out. Might be doing nothing on this pair. So let's go and look at something else. US30. I like US30 a little bit more. Now, this week has been pretty consolidated. All right, we've had a little bit of consolidation this week. No big deal. We've just been oscillating around the open for the week and the previous week's close. All week long, we've been getting these spike to high, spike to low sort of scenarios. Yesterday, we closed, it's pretty close, in breakout. So what does this do for me as far as templates go? Well, we got a peak formation high up here. Now we have a peak formation low at the low of the current week. Option 1. We've triggered the low in what could be or could be described as a down moving market. We've pumped it back up off the low. I could be looking for this to roll over and fade it back down towards the low. Okay, pump for a dump. Option 1. I think this exact template just showed up last week. I don't know about on this pair, but I think this is... Oh, yeah, I remember because... Is he in here right now? John, you were asking about this. This pretty much this exact same thing. I described this. And I meant to talk to you about it because it rolled over and went vertical. So the details that I think I forgot to talk about in that stream were I'm watching this channel to see if the shorts are still trapped. So if this were to roll over and start letting the shorts out, I'd be fine with that. I would take the thesis of this is a pump for a dump. Option 2, and the option that I personally like the most right now, peak formation high, peak formation low. We have a channel. We're making higher highs and higher lows on the day. We have a bit of a first mouse. I kind of want to see them slam back down first, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I'd be looking for this to go vertical. All right, now I'd be looking for this to really happen at 9:30, so I'm going to wait for 9:30 to see what happens, but that's the pattern that I'm seeing right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to mark off, hey, we've got shorts trapped down here. Some poor soul thought this was going to go back down, and they started shorting as it's going higher, and they just keep getting pulled higher and higher. I wonder if their accounts are going to get blown out. So we got shorts trapped down here. This is just a price action behavior that I'm going to be watching. Oh, I started saying that, and then I started typing it. Shorts trapped. Okay, pump for a dump, thesis 1, thesis 2, peak formation high, peak formation low, consolidation in the middle, ascending, tightly wound, nice, possible parabolic channel. Excuse me, holy cow. Is that the short squeeze pattern? Higher highs and higher lows, looking for the pullback for the squeeze possibly. This is actually more of a parabolic trend channel. Scrappy-doo. Good deal. Appreciate that, Thomas. All right, is the S&P, is this looking any better than... It's kind of looking about the same as NASDAQ. What did NASDAQ do? Okay, so pretty much about the same. All right, definitely watching this at 9:30. We got the high of the day listed out up here. Let's take a look at oil. All right, so I talked about this in the... when I was doing this. We were looking at this. I had this up here, and I said, hey... make sure you're thinking about this. All right, when a market closes and breakout, is it going to break out, pull back, and trend? Is it going to break out, pull back, and reverse? You know, start making lower lows, lower highs, and breaking down and following through. This is pretty much oil to the T. So let's go take a look at oil. All right, we had a market that's on Monday. You know, first off, we've been going down. Market go down. Market been going down for a while. All right, what was this? Week 1 breakouts here. We got week 2, week 3. Bit of a failed to go lower here. Succeeded to go low over here. 4 and 5. So we're 5 weeks down on oil. Nice, lower prices, right? Something like that. But yesterday we got the first green day. What just happened? My OBS disconnected and then reconnected. Can you all still hear me? Are we still live? Okay, good deal. That was weird. Never had that happen before. All right, we had a breakout day 1 back up to the upside. Wednesday, Thursday. So we had a peak formation at the low of the week, day 1 of the cycle. Day 2 of the cycle, we get first green day and a breakout. And then now, today... Are we getting the pullback? Are we getting a pullback for a trend continuation? What did I just draw? Holy cow. All right. So we're making lower lows, lower highs on the day. What would I like to see? I'd really like to see this thing. If it's going to be the setup that I'm anticipating or not anticipating, but looking for. Lower lows, lower highs. Let's see a peak formation get put in place. Make a higher high. I'll get on the first pullback if it presents. Otherwise... We're in a market making lower lows, lower highs, and an overall down moving market. Got to keep that in mind as well, okay? Is everybody following with what I'm talking about here? Is that making sense? Absence of a signal day. I'm looking at the breakouts. We do have a signal day, first green, which is good, which is a buy, low of day, low of session opportunity. So now I just need to wait for that. Everybody tracking along? If you're here right now and you have not liked the stream, it takes 2 seconds and it doesn't hurt anything. It's probably one of the few things in the world that is free. If you could do that real quick, just drag your mouse over and hit that little thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. It helps the stream. And if you want to do some extra credit, it doesn't matter what you say in the chat right now. If you just type anything and say hello, that'll help it as well. And I do appreciate all of you. And I hope that this stream is providing value to you in some way, shape, or form, whether it's being a thesis building opportunity or some kind of anything. You know, it's just helping you with your analysis process for the day. Yeah, let's get it. Good stuff, Glitch. All right, let's go on to gold. All right, gold. Breakouts. We got 3 days of breakouts down. As of today, so breakout day 1, breakout day 2, breakout day 3. Let's see, how many weeks down do we have? Do we have any weeks down? We've been going up. Market go up. All right, this is the first week now that we've triggered previous week's low and broken out. Previous week has failed to go higher, and now we're breaking down. So in our first week of breakouts down, there's certainly a potential that this is just going to keep trending lower. Okay, just like we did on the upside when the market flipped around and started pulling aggressively and strong, like right here, for example. Notice how this is 3 sessions of breakout on this day. That's going to be really small, sorry. Okay, you notice how this is 3 sessions of breakout on the day, and then it just kept going. And the same thing over here, and it just kept going. And it's like, well, Cam, you said 3 sessions of breakout. It's going to revert. No, it doesn't have to reverse. All right, this could probably, or is, and now in hindsight, you can see objectively that this was a strong trend pulling at the beginning or the flip of we were going down, and now we're going to start pulling up. We went up, and now we might be starting to pull down. So we have 3 sessions of drop right now, and I want you to take that with a grain of salt. But it also lets me know what I could be looking for if it sets up in a certain way. So right now we have 3 sessions of drop, really the second session of drop. And then now are we going to come down here and work the low and maybe go back up? Maybe we're going to go back up to retest the breakout level. We got a base. We got a little bit of space, not too much space, unfortunately. We got breakout traders that are still in profit from the breakout in Asia. I need to know where the money is so I can target it if this were to present. Oh my gosh, that's not what I wanted to click. There we go. So I need to know what to target. If we get the 3rd session of drop and it all lines up with the time of day, I might know that that's what I should be doing. Now we have no higher highs. We're just making lower lows and lower highs. So the easy trade or the simple trade might be to just look for the trend opportunity if that were to present in a certain way. Okay. Yesterday we closed in breakout, so I know market go down. Market only does 3 things. Now, we've already broken down today, so this level is going to be a little bit less relevant to me. This now becomes the top of my box. Okay. Peak 1, peak 2. Let's wait for peak 3. And if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about with this 3 sessions of drop, well, you just go to the playbook and scroll up, and there it is. All right, which variation am I looking for? Something like this. Now, we're only in week 1 of breakouts down. So, again, take it with what you will. We got 3 days of breakouts down and 3 sessions. So, we'll see. But on the day, we also went into price action stuff earlier in the stream. So if you weren't here for that, make sure you go back and check out those price action at the extremes tips. We know exactly what to look for and an entry criteria to get us across the finish line. All right, looking at the Russell, I'm going to zoom out here. We'll take a look at the big picture real quick. Big picture, I just look at weekly highs and lows and see, did last week close and break out? How many weeks down do we have? It looks like last week, man, what the heck? All right, this one triggered the high. This one over here. All right. Yeah. All right. So yesterday closed in breakout down. Let me get rid of this. So the market's only going to do three things: trend, reverse, trading range. We're broken down. We're broken out. So my idea for this is, number one, this level becomes the top of my box. We're in breakout to the downside. If this is going to do breakout pullback continuation, it's going to keep trying to go higher and fail. We've pumped it back up. We've broken down. We pumped it back up. 930 opens up and maybe rolls over and goes vertical back down to where this pump began. That is the setup I am personally looking for on this. Is that going to happen? I have no idea. I like this more than the NASDAQ because the NASDAQ is not continuously broken down still, whereas this has broken out and pulled back. That's why I like the Russell a bit more. Do I think it's going to happen? I have no idea. I'm just going to wait. We got big 1, 2, 3 back up. Nice little 3 peaks pattern up here. They've been lifting price up into the high. We'll see. Let's see. What else was on this one? I think that's about it. Good deal. I like this. All right, let's go look at gold from yesterday because I wanted to talk about the trade that I took. And I think a lot of people on the Discord took this as well. Somebody in the webinar group even took it, which was great. All right, so same or very similar to what we're talking about now was why I said this is one of my favorites for the day, just to be watching. Whether or not it's going to work out or not, I don't know, but I've got a very clear thesis on this pair. Gold for today. Oil's pretty clear. And also US30. Those are probably my tops out of these. I know I've only got 5 pairs to really watch, but the thesis on those is very clear. But let's go look at gold from yesterday and talk about why I took this trade and why I think a lot of other people took it as well. And it's exactly what we're talking about right now. We've broken out and broken down. The market only does 3 things. This level becomes the top of my box. And then it pumps back up. Notice how they go from point A to point B. They start lifting price. Push 1 gets my attention. By me, I'm talking about other traders. Push 2 makes other traders start taking action. And drive 3 makes them take action at the worst possible place in the chart. Peak 1, peak 2, peak 3. One of those very common 3 push patterns. And breaks down. All right, so now we have traders trapped up here in this area. I don't want to see the market let them out. I want to see them toy with them. Dangle the mouse in front, if you will. And then we pump it back up. And then now I'm just looking at the time and using that time in order to determine where I should be getting in. 7:30, 8 o'clock. So now we're into the New York session. 8:55, new hour opens up, 9 o'clock. Sideways consolidation. They keep trying to go higher and failing. Peak formation high is about to form. Up, down, up. And then we make this run. This engulfment of the neckline is where I wanted to get in. So I started getting in on the next bar about mid-wick. So I got in on this bar about mid-wick and then took it back down through where the pump began, which doesn't look like much, but that's not bad. I don't know about you all, but 60 plus in 10 minutes. I'm not upset with that. I'm not upset with that at all. Really easy trade, really simple. It shows up over and over again. It's repeatable. It's scalable. And it's one of my favorites for sure. Okay. And that's why the thumbnail and all that stuff, it's not clickbait of any kind. It's happening again. Well, that's because the market's just continuously breaking down, breaking out, and doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. And it behaves the same way at the levels over and over again. And once you see it 100 times, you'll see it 100 more. That's why it's so good, in my opinion. All right. This is the point where I like to open things up to questions. Probably got about 15 minutes left. If you all have pairs you want to look at, if you have maybe price action that you want to look at, you have questions about areas of the chart where you thought about maybe entering. What is the NASDAQ doing? Shaky, you are cooking with this. Pound dollar first red. Let's take a look. And I also see our Euro USD price action. Okay. You got it first with that Euro USD. So let's see if I could get back up. Oh, there it is. I'm on a 5. I need to go to a 15. Okay, so not to argue. Oh, it actually just said price action. Okay. How long have we been going up? A little bit. Week 1 breakouts. Maybe week 2. We've triggered the high. We triggered the high of an inside bar as well. And now we've dumped it back down. Yeah, this is going to be another example of the market only does 3 things. So, number 1, we're in breakout to the downside. We've triggered the previous day's low and possibly reversed. I don't know. What I'm going to tell you is you've got a ramp or order flow down into the low a little bit. Nicely consolidated below the previous day's low. Help. There we go. So what I would do is if I was going to determine what kind of trade setup I'm looking for or hunting, I would say, okay, well, this market is broken down, breaking out. Yesterday was breakout day 1. We're down low. We're at the low of the current week. I'm either going to look for a reversal or a trend trade. All right, that's the whole idea. So now to determine whether or not I'm going to take one of those things, I would say, okay, well, what has it done? We've got a lower low. We get a higher high and a pullback. This is the first pullback now. And then we've made another higher high. So now we're into the second pullback. I'll leave that up to you. I really prefer to get in on the first pullback, but market's making higher highs and higher lows right now. All right, pounds. You were just asking about price action on this. Structurally, on the day, making higher highs and higher lows. Whether or not I'd be looking for a long or a short, it would have to break down, start making lower lows and lower highs. And then my thesis would return to pump for a dump in a down moving market. Hopefully that makes sense. Johnny, your name is wild. Anyways, let's go on to what was that, pound dollar? Pound dollar first red. I just needed to open my eye. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes you just have to walk it through left to right. That's why I always emphasize reading charts like a book, left to right, and having good attention to detail. For these setups, you really don't need anything crazy. You just need to understand the 3 things that markets do and what templates to look for. And once you got that, everything kind of comes into perspective a little bit better. All right, so this is a failed breakout at the high of the week. And then yesterday, breakout day 1. We're back down at the low of the week. Fairly ranging week. Let's see here. Dang, you know what this reminds me of a lot? I've had some... All right. Okay, multiple weeks up. All right. So, keep it simple, right? We're in breakout to the downside. So we're only looking for a couple things. Number 1. Number 2, I don't really consider this a first red day. I would just be looking at it as this breakout day because the first red day put us at the low of the week. All right, so I no longer have an opportunity to go from the high of the week back down to the low of the week. But that at that point is just arguing names of things, which I think is silly. A breakout day to the downside. Let's focus on that. So the market could be going down. We've also triggered the previous day's low and pumped it back up. So what would I need to... I'm going to skip these ads for you all because I don't want you to miss this. If I'm going to look for a long trade, coming off the low of the week for a reversal, maybe this is all trap volume down low, what would I need to see? I'm going to look for higher highs to be put in place at a certain time of day and for them to be dumping it back down. Do I like this pattern? I would say probably. We never see those ads because I always, Fibro, yeah, because I always keep them from popping up. But anyways, I would want to see this make lower lows and lower highs, and then make a higher high. And then generally or typically on the first pullback is where I'm going to try and get in at a certain time of day. Okay, so this is already kind of doing something. I don't know if I would be willing, me personally, okay, I'm not really willing to trade this pattern. Now, other side of the trade would be market is possibly going down, breakout day one to the downside. We're broken out to the downside again. So we've triggered previous day's low. I measure up 3 levels of rise off of the low of the day. And then wait for the market to pump back up, start making lower lows and lower highs. And then I would take this as a trending opportunity based off of the days of breakouts back down through the low. Okay. It's just clean charts for teaching, GS. Watch this. I got it on a click of a button. We got little orbs up here. All right, 100 pip box. Sessions. Blank. Honestly, I trade blank anyways because I don't like seeing all that flashing lights up on my screen. But yeah, it just looks a lot more clean, I think, for teaching purposes. Somebody said GJ. Let's go take a look at GJ. Oh my gosh. There we go. All right. Wow. Peak formation high, peak formation low. This is another consolidated week. We're back at the high of the week. I think that's really all I can literally say. This is the level. We've been consolidated all week long. We broke and went higher. Push 1, push 2. We're back at the high of the week. Are we just going to keep breaking out higher? Or is this going back to the high of the week? We're going to start breaking down. Man, look at all these. A little bit of order flow build up here. Started lifting price over here. We're at the high of the week. If it's going to break down, it's going to break down. If not, whatever. But I do like the stair stepping. This gold doing what? Breaking down. Yep. So this is what I was talking about. We're still making lower lows and lower highs. We got the pump level. So it's about to possibly, complete the pattern. And then once we get that third level of drop, going to keep watching and see how things behave. DAX. No, not usually. I'm going to take a look at the... see what this bad boy's doing. Okay. Yep. What about platinum? Okay, this is another breakout day. How many sessions of drop we got on this thing? Possibly strongly pulling down. Again, breakout, pullback, breakout, reverse trading range. We've got sessions going lower. This looks like it's kind of strong. I don't know. EuroCAD. Okay, market only going to do 3 things. We're broken out. This is an opening range breakout to the upside. Peak formation high. Trigger the low, peak formation low. The triggering of the low could indicate a pump for a dump. If it were to present. And it did. They've triggered that level. All right, so now we've continued. Holy cow. Making lower lows and lower highs. Broke down. Made a high. Which would have been all the way up here. Broke down again. Which would have made this the high. Made a higher high. which this is literally just a 15-minute chart, so it has relevance, but not exactly big relevance. With this higher high being right up here, now we're going back down to the low. So my question to myself would be, is this transitioning to a down moving market where we've pumped it up, we've triggered the low, we've broken down, we've made lower lows, lower highs? I would just be watching this level. We've made a higher high, and then now we've aggressively traded back down into the low in a big 1, 2, 3. I would just be watching the low of the day and watching this pattern. Does it go into consolidation and reverse aggressively? Does it break out and continue to break out? And then I get a nice little pullback for a low-hanging fruit. Market only does 3 things. This turns into the top of the box. And then this is the pattern. Again, I'm lacking. Actually, let's go back. Did I have a signal yesterday? No, the first red day was on Wednesday. Peak high, peak low, first red, triggers the low, pumps it back up. This was the first red day trade. Pump for a dump. Perfectly timed. Yep, perfectly timed. Nice. This was a good pair for yesterday. Today's, it's got good potential, but it's got some developing to do first before thesis can be confirmed. Dang. Ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate you all tuning in and being here. This is probably the most we've had in the stream in quite some time. Good stuff. And everyone's been participating, and makes it a lot more fun for me as the person sitting in front of this little camera and just yelling into a mic for an hour. I enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun. Only 6 likes. Dang, that's crazy. I don't know. Maybe we need to fix that. Who knows? But I appreciate you all tuning in. I've had a lot of fun hanging out with you all and working some thesis. It's time to get into the trading day and see what we can find. If I take a trade, I'll make sure to post it on Discord with a good explanation for all of you who are learning in the background. I do these streams every Wednesday and Friday, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and I post a video. I'm going to start posting videos every Monday. That Monday seems to be a pretty good day for posting, so we'll keep doing that, and I will see you in the next one. You have a good weekend. Bye-bye.